Cold wind, isn't it?
A little bit.
Evening, Tony. Good to see you.
Hey, Tony.
Knocked up a quick stir fry tonight. But it's cold, the wind's cold. Might even bring the shutters down shortly. Cut out that cold wind, what do you think?
Oh, it just depends how windy it gets.
Not really windy, it's just enough to be cold.
That side gets a little bit windy. It lifts up a little bit. Have you noticed that?
No.
Yeah, I have. I've been noticing it.
Let's bring them down.
Just let them all
It stays up a little bit anyway. It's always coming back to putting new rubbers on them. There we go. No more wind. That worked out well. So I hear a rumour, Tony, could just be a rumour, that the fat man in the can got one strike yesterday, and the rumour is got another one today. I don't know how the strike system works, but I don't think you get
3 strikes in your
three,
row,
is
isn't
it? 3 strikes, is it?
That's what I thought.
You might have to buy an RV, mate. Put on about 150 pound of weight and start eating shawarma. Farewell, you fat prick. YouTube gave you the flick. Na na na, da da da, da da da. Hello, my little beauties. Farewell, you fat prick. YouTube's given you the flick.
He'll find a way around.
Although you're 10 feet wide,
He'll be back.
with bed bugs deep inside. Farewell, you big fat prick. I can remember years ago he was kicked off YouTube and then appeared on Dailymotion for a while. To my knowledge, Tony, he has lost 6 channels. That have been struck down and killed.
Tony hasn't. You haven't watched him for a while, have you, Tony?
But I believe the end is near. Time has come. How can we sleep when the big bug's biting? Yes, it's just a matter of time. Well, when you're on rock bottom, you've been on rock bottom for years, you just slither. There's no getting up, it's just slithering forward. Maybe a new channel called Elvis Sits. This simple channel, Elvis Sits, because there is no travelling involved. Should maybe do a little picture of a upturned shopping trolley with a couple of white lines in the parking lot. That'd be a good avatar. The information I received, it was underhanded. International Dutch or Russian hackers. Yeah, right. Really. You're going to worry about one big fat obese guy sitting in a van? I don't think so. No, it's probably because he just stuffed up again. Elvis rents, that's a good idea. Or just Elvis begs.
you tell Tony you saw him today in a video?
We did see Tony Abbott in a video today. I was looking at hiring a couple of bands, maybe. And one of them was a funny group. They're probably 50-year-olds from South Australia. And he does all these voices. He mimics Billy Connolly and whatever. But about halfway through the presentation, out comes Tony Abbott with big ears and a pair of budgie smugglers on. His wife, dressed up, says, "Yeah, don't worry, ladies, it's just 2 pairs of socks down there." Tony's not a big man. Sort of entertainers, singers and performers. Unfortunately, they're in South Australia, so they won't be coming here because they cost too much to get here. He's going to hire, trying to get a, we like medieval music, Celtic type music. He's going to get a small band in for the wife's birthday. But she's decided she wants to go on a wine tour instead. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be enjoyable.
Oh, well, yeah, no, looking forward to it. Nibbles, wine, beers, ciders, all locally produced here in WA in the Swan Valley. Tomorrow night at Optus Stadium here in Perth, Collingwood play Geelong, I think, and there will be 30,000 people at the ground, which will do 2 things. One, the players will appreciate having a crowd because it actually adds to the atmosphere if you're playing. I know that for a fact. And it will probably be a very loud crowd because it's the only big crowd that's been allowed this whole season. So the rest of the nation will probably get a fair bit of a kick out of it, particularly when Geelong beat the shit out of Collingwood, because no one in WA likes Collingwood.
Very noisy tonight.
It is, because the wind's coming from there. It's like they're changing big wheels on a train.
No, just the traffic as well. So has that sold 30,000 tickets, have they?
28,000, I think. 28,005, I think, is the maximum they can have.
And will also be a test with the virus. Make sure they'll be checking everyone.
No, they're still doing testing here, but no one's coming down with it, so. And all the ones we've got in quarantine are all overseas. Yeah, no, they tell me that they shove it right up your nose till it gets right up the top, and then you punch the nurse.
I thought it was a mouth thing. I didn't realise it was a nose thing.
They've got a new saliva one, but the nasal one's best, apparently.
Did you sneeze?
Did you take a top off just to change, keep your mind on something else? This one hurt a bit. Here, check these out. Shame it was a male nurse. Yeah, well, you got to be, look, I have a feeling that when we used to live in Greater Sydney, we used to live in Richmond and Riverstone at one stage, and that's considered Greater Sydney, even though it's 40k out of the middle of town. I think they're going to shut all of that down, mate. It's going to go back to lockdown for at least 2 to 3 weeks. I believe that.
Right, New South Wales got more cases now.
It's not that they've got heaps of cases, but they're all over the bloody place. So West Sydney, Western Sydney, so Greater Sydney. So if they get serious, they'll just shut it down. Yeah, pondering about, thinking about it for another couple of weeks, and all of a sudden you've got an extra 1,000 cases. People move around Sydney all over the place. People work in Sydney and they live in the Blue Mountains. You know what I mean? So 70k. will be shut down. But if they just shut everything down and say, all right, guys, stay home, we'll pay you, watch Netflix, make babies. Yeah, it's showing how easy this is to replicate. And I don't care what other people think around the world. Some people think it's a hoax and whatever, but they're burying a lot of people. And you ask people that work in hospitals, even orderlies and ambo drivers, and we've got one in the family, and they're saying, yeah, no, this is not normal. A lot of morgues are picking up bodies, heaps of burials. So it's worse than that because the recovery rate is very low. In other words, people who get it and then don't recover are in their hundreds of thousands and millions in parts of the world. And they're now finding problems with their kidneys, their liver, their brain, their heart. Because this virus, people have this thought in their head that, oh, yeah, it's in the lungs. Get a bit of a cough and you're right. No, this virus attacks every cell in the body. The research being done in Italy at the moment is quite startling. People who, when they say recover, it means they don't die from the virus. And then weeks later, they're back in hospital with a heart problem, or lesion on the brain, or kidney failure. And it can only be attributed to the damage that the virus did in the cells of those organs. So this is a nasty little shit. That unbroadcast, no media coverage of those people who had the virus but haven't really recovered. They're just statistics at the moment, but that will become the big story, trust me. You know, they say 100,000 people got it, 10,000 died, 20,000 recovered. Okay, what happened to the other 70,000? Oh, we don't talk about them? All right, why? Because it's complicated. That will be the big story from this pandemic. The lingering effect and damage to all parts of the body, even from those people that didn't die from the virus. Yep, I think, so this is not going anywhere. You know, it's like one virologist has stated very clearly, each different scientific group around the world are trying to create a vaccine for a different type of genome protein virus around the world. In other words, it's not the same exact virus. So it means that even if a vaccine is, say, created in China, it might be absolutely useless in Brazil. Because there are that's where they're doing contact tracing through genome profiling. I've actually found a guy from Victoria who's in Sydney who has passed it on to hundreds of people. Because in his system of DNA, the protein is attached to the virus is unique. So all the people in Sydney can thank one Victorian for what's going on at the moment. So it's not like they don't know how to look for it now. They can actually even trace it back to a individual or a super spreader, if you like. And yet you keep hearing people say, nah, it's not real. Don't wear a mask. Yeah, it's all right, mate. Don't worry about it. What are you doing on the weekend? I'm burying my grandmother. Why? Well, I passed the virus to her. Nah, she's faking death, mate. You check her breathing. She's holding the breath. That's all it is. These people are that stupid. I mean, stupid with a big S. No one's got the Superman gene. Everyone is vulnerable. Yes, it's even beyond ignorance. It's just total complacency. She'll be right. No, we just all go down and have a party. I read recently in one part of America, I'm not going to name it because I'll get accused of attacking that part of America, they literally had COVID-19 parties where they knew somebody had it.
Because
and they all wanted to catch it, like the old days of catching chickenpox parties. So not all Americans are stupid, but a large number of them must be.
And then someone died.
Problem with most of the world is that Australia's not so much, but a lot of our ethnic races are multi-generational households. In other words, there's mum and dad, kids, grandkids, grandparents, and maybe a great aunt all live in the same house. The 20-year-olds go out for a party, come back, give mum a big hug, I give Nan a big hug. Yeah, Nonna, how are you? Why you cough, Nonna? What's wrong with you? What? Da, 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 da. We're here today to bury Nonna, who, with a lot of love from her grandson, the 20-year-old Dick, who passed on the virus to her. The 20-year-old's doing fine, he's got a bit of a cough, a bit of a pain in the kidneys, but his grandmother we now lay to rest. The stupid runs deep. I did read online today, I don't know why, I just flicked it and looked at it, but there's a old vase that someone bought for $80. And then just out of curiosity, they got an expert to look at it. It was auctioned today for $13 million.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Why can't we find something like that? I mean, I would have had to really liked it to even pay $80 for it though.
Well, it looked nice as an old vase, but obviously it came from probably Roman times or something like that, or
And
Greece.
it's probably something I would have said, oh, can I have that? And you would have gone, what's that crap?
Well, it's like people in families just pass stuff down. I know sometimes it stays in the shed for 100 years. And some people throw it out.
Yeah, you just look like the guy who found a painting in the Verge rubbish with $1 million painting.
The best one was actually, I saw about 5 years ago. It was a Rembrandt, but the actual painting was someone else. It was like an okay painter. But they were testing the validity of the oils in it to make sure that it was 16 something or whatever it was. And then they got this outline of a painting underneath. One of the experts said that's Rembrandt's work. This painting was like $1 million. And the museum said, let's do it. So they had experts come in, take all the paint off the original, of the outer layer, took it back to the Rembrandt, now worth $180 million.
Yeah, because that's what they used to do back then, they recycled. Things weren't that easy to come across, so people would paint over the top of someone else's
That's
painting.
right. The reason why they were suspicious is that the paint went right up to the edge of the frame, but the frame hadn't been taken down.
Yeah.
Because they could see a very fine line where the paint had gone to the edge. Normally a painter paints on canvas, then it's framed. So they said this bugger's just painted over the top. I'm sure in years to come, and because Hitler stole a lot of shit, a lot of people obviously stole stuff that Hitler didn't know about, you know what I mean? And there
Yeah,
are hordes
yeah.
everywhere around the world, probably mainly in Europe, of billions of dollars worth of artwork. In Iraq, when the old shock and awe came in with the ill-fated American attack on Iraq, all the museums were raided. Everything was stolen.
Yeah, but some things you can't sell. Some of these things that people have taken.
Yeah, so I'd like to say, only rumour, but someone showed me a bit that says This video has been removed because it was against YouTube policy. And that was today's video. And they said, well, that's not the only one. Day before, it happened again. And they said, if you do see Tony, be gentle. Break it quietly to him. So I'm doing that, one-on-one. If you need any counselling, give me a number. I'll give you a call. We'll work this through, Tony. We'll get there. We'll see daylight at the end of the tunnel. But imminent demise. Channel 7 gone down. It's the only travel channel I've ever seen where the person doesn't travel. They just sit and eat crap in a bag, eat some more crap. Go to bed at 6 in the morning because you're scared of the night, like a little boy. Sleep till 7 in the afternoon. Have breakfast. At 8 o'clock, have brunch. 8:30, mid-morning snack. 9 p.m, main meal. 11 p.m, pizza. Probably at 2 a.m, a bag full of cheap dollar crap from a dollar store. You know, candy, lollies, shit like that. Only about 40,000 calories per day. As long as those donations keep coming in, he can keep building up his body until eventually, one quiet night around the world, there'll be an explosion heard like Krakatoa in 1882. People say, what was that? Someone says, they tell us on NBC, Elvis is blown up. Yeah. I think he might have a loose rear end. I think the differential's gone. So there's a permanent oil leak or shawarma leak. Yes, he probably kept them for, I don't know, maybe sell them online. One of the stories I heard years ago was how aliens had come down working with men in black, and they've taken his DNA. So when Mars is colonized, they'll actually replicate him, hundreds of little Z's on the planet Mars. I'm not sure Mars is ready for 100 Oompa Loompas, personally. Just, I just don't think it's right. And the person that gave me that information today always is funny. I won't tell you who it is. But he did a remark which I laughed at, because he says, I believe there's some hair on his bald spot. And that's funny when you think about it. I suppose, when things get real bad for him, there's always an alternative. There's always hope. Maybe he could sell his body as a cadaver for scientific experiments. Like put him under a tree, pretend to be a victim of crime or something. He could just sit there. They think he's dead. There's an eerie light in the sky tonight. And the floorboards in our house sounds like someone's walking on them, but no one's there.
That's settling. That's taken a long time of doing that.
Things that go bump in the night. I don't think so much a downward spiral, but a continuation of depravity. Nothing's changed. I don't know how you could exist doing nothing every day. just in a car park, just sitting there, 6 p.m. when you wake up for breakfast. Because you can't sleep at night because you're like a little boy, you're scared. Maybe someone will knock on the door and want me to move. Or there'll be, what does he call them? Tweakers, drug dealers. You know, even armed squirrels going to attack him at the darkness. So he doesn't sleep during the dark, he just falls asleep as the sun's coming up and wakes up after it goes down. A bit like a vampire, but he's too big to be a vampire. Can't be a vampire. It's really sad when you think about it. You know, 5 years ago, if his 5-year plan was to do nothing, he's succeeded. He's the person who has got nowhere fast, and he's arrived. There's probably going to be in the future, you realise, Tony, a Boyd nursing home. That's right. Probably run by a Rosie. Give you that big smile, cheesy smile as you come to the door. Take them to Ward 4. Give them shock treatment. And that big fat guy that's just coming in, tie his hands in the back. Give him no food for a month. He looks nothing like Elvis, the sad part. Looks more a bit like John Candy. John was a pretty good-looking man, so that would be a blight on John Candy. He has a very limited vocabulary. He does continually repeat himself dozens of times over the same thing, which is a way of someone who's deluded to convince themselves, not others. That's what people that are deluded do. They repeat things over and over again so that it becomes hardcore knowledge that to themselves what they just said must be true. But it's a delusion. Oh, I imagine he would have. You better go make up a Bob Wells account shortly. I don't even watch Bob Wells. I saw one video of him doing something like a crazy man in the desert, and I'm not watching him. He's
Bob
mad.
Wells?
Some RV guy.
Oh yeah, I've heard the name.
I have a very simple policy. I don't chat on anyone's channel that has a $sign, so I don't go very many places, which is okay with me. Because you're just wasting your time. Just pulled a video out from these e-beggars from 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, and watch it. It's the same. It's the same nonsense on every video. Which is existing. It's not living. I mean, his experiences. Imagine him trying to tell somebody, "Yeah, I went over here and they say, oh, you went to Mexico. That was good. Yeah, what'd you do? Well, I sort of ate, slept in the van all day, went out at night looking for cross-dressers. And what'd you do then? Oh, then I drove to another state and what'd you do there? Oh, went to car parks, slept all day, ate all night, wouldn't sleep." So basically your life, travelling life, is like not seeing anything through daylight, eating most of the time and sitting in a van. Yeah, it's a wonderful life. What do you think? Hello, Mr. Vegan. you'd have enjoyed that little video. Bacon, egg, cheese, toasted sandwich. I could hear keeping drooling from 15,000 miles away. Well, I'm talking about the big fat guy in a van. Pretty sure his name's Zia. I don't use that name. I quite like the original Elvis. What's a want for the money to let go? It's even pathetically funny when I've seen him years ago trying to sing like Elvis. And it's just fingers on a chalkboard come to mind. I suppose we're blessed that he doesn't think he sounds like Cher. Probably dresses up like Cher on occasions, but he doesn't sound like her. But it's hot where you are keeping too. Seems like America is roasting. I could show you that. There's 6.6 kilowatt on the roof and inverters around the side. I'm waiting on a subsidy that may or may not, supposed to maybe happen this year, but I doubt that will happen. But a subsidy, hello VMAC, of around $4,000 off a $12,000 battery. Now I could buy the $12,000 battery, but I'd be kicking myself if I can get $4,000 taken off. So we'll eventually do that, but we don't use a great deal of electricity, and I've only been getting credits so far. So I'm seeing how the next 6 months unfold.
It's a bit hard to actually show your solar system.
Well,
How
no,
are you gonna film it?
well, I'll just go right up against the fence on the ladder maybe and show that.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
108, yeah, I thought it might be up where you are.
It's freezing here.
Just turn on your air conditioner, keeping, you'll be good. I finished oiling the front porch today, around about 7 o'clock in the morning, beat the rain, come out pretty good, got a little bit darker. You notice it got a little bit darker?
Yes.
Yeah. It's 15 here right now, way cooler than the norm for this time of year. Really? Well, it's 14.7 here at the moment. It's more the fact that we probably use most of our electricity during the day when the solar's pumping in heaps. And we use very little. We've got a big telly on now, and that's 100 watts. The 10-watt light is on out here.
I must be on the
Probably
wrong,
using about 150 watts.
I'm on the wrong channel. It's Tony Robbins.
9 degrees where Tony is. That's ABC. You need to be on SBS. We generated today, I think, 16 kilowatt. Average during winter looks about 15, because there's some days really cloudy, only getting 7 or 8. But on the bright sunny days, it's back to 22. So average 15, 16. And I know we only use 13. So at night time, we might be using off the grid kilowatt, maybe 2. So less than $1. But then during the day, what we're not using goes back. And the critters. Probably about half a mile away, there's a big community sporting ground. People play footies, soccer, a lot of kids play there. But it's the fact that the wind's blowing from there, that's why you can hear it. Some nights the wind blows the other way. We could hear them, but you wouldn't be able to hear them. And I much prefer listening to that sort of noise than a loud disco going off.
Yeah, there's no lights near us. It's just, I commented it was noisier tonight than usual.
Yeah, you can hear about a mile away is a highway, not a highway, just a dual carriageway. And the wind's blowing, so you'll hear that. And of course, there's the odd Harley that roars past. But if you hear, you would think it's not that noisy. Now you can hear a plane. My last bill was around about minus 860. Yep, that's the way to go. Of course, in WA, they threw everyone, I think, $300, Tony, as a COVID, because the power here is run by the state here in WA. They threw everyone a $300 credit. So I've got that on there as well, but yeah, I'm not paying much. In the past, I've used lithium and deep cycle AGMs on other solar systems I've had keeping. And here, we've got solar panels that power all my house for the day. Like I say, I'm just waiting on a subsidy. WA government's talking about of $4,000. The battery I'm looking at is about 12. So if I only have to pay 8, and at the moment I'm in credit, I can afford to wait. If I get a battery, I will never have a power bill, ever. And like I say, my last power bill was a credit of 400 or something ridiculous. And even before any solar, we're only using 150 every 2 months. Got a lot to do with what you've got. All the lighting is LED. All the appliances we have are as efficient as they can be. So that cuts back your power usage too, having more efficient appliances. I mean, Tony's in a position now, during the whole year, he could have an electric vehicle and not pay for any fuel as well. That's the ideal situation, having an electric vehicle, solar power, solar battery backup. In fact, there's a system, I'm sure Tony knows about it. Let's say you've got a battery in the car, the electric car you've got, and you're not using that much, but that fills up because you've charged it. Well, it just becomes another storage battery. You might have a Tesla power wall on the wall in your home, Tesla power wall in the car. And if you want to, you can virtually intertwine them. In other words, you could hook the car into the house. So that's where things have changed. Yeah, I like four-wheel drive. I've had four-wheel drives nearly all my life. Pajeros, Toyotas. But I've used batteries before. And where we lived probably 6 years ago, never paid a power bill. So you can do it. You've got to know what you're doing. A lot of people put things together badly. Someone I have not seen in a long time, and that is Nomadic Fanatic. Well, he's riding around with you right now. That's what Tony Abbott's previous name was, or one of the names he has. Not really Nomadic, but yeah, that's what he used to be called. I just a long time ago decided, no, anyone that's chasing money, I don't watch. So anyone's got like a dollar sign, or send money to me, or even a dry beg like, it's in the chat, just says, if you want to donate a couple of bucks and watch your name flash across the screen, that's still called begging. So I don't even go to those channels. Just my preference. People can do what they like with their money, I don't care. I find it that these people are greedy. They care not for who gives them the money. No one. No e-beggar really cares about anyone. And particularly if they stop giving, then they care. Then they'll send them an email saying, why have you stopped giving me money? What's going on? Don't you love me anymore? Like I said, the delusion runs deep. I never used to watch Mike from Living Free. I saw a couple of parodies that were done on him, but no, I haven't watched them.
Oh, once or twice when we first heard we did. Is he the one that wasn't well?
I don't know.
Oh, who am I thinking of? The one that wasn't well and went off somewhere, but no one's heard.
Had to get him up there. Is it very humid there keeping, is it? You got the aircon on? 107 would warrant you sticking the air conditioner on.
I'm thinking of someone else then.
Or are you just mopping up bacon grease from cooking too much? That'll be the fire truck going to Keeping's place because the bacon grease has caught on fire.
Yeah.
What's your emergency? Bacon caught on fire. Grows, they garden, everything grows either in bag or canned. Whoops. Cans. Everything grows either. You can grow, growing mediums, that doesn't matter. I've got some little wine barrels that we're going to fill up for summer, and I'm going to grow heaps of rock melon, watermelon, you call them cantaloupes, rock melons, cucumbers, and all they do is they grow and the tendrils go over the edge of the barrel and they start going everywhere. Then you just get a broom and sweep them up in a line up against the side of the fence. When the fruit starts forming, just put bits of cardboard underneath the big watermelons and you just keep giving them plenty of water in the half wine barrel. A lot of people think you need to have a proper garden to grow things like that. You don't. You just need a medium to grow the plant. I was thinking I might plant some garlic around the apple trees on the outside because we don't disturb the soil of the apple tree. And on the outside, the peripherals, the garlic can grow.
Have to read up when we trim them. We don't do anything this
Oh,
year.
nothing at the moment, yeah. There's nothing to trim.
What about that lemon tree that seems to have a lot of foliage?
Oh, you can prune that.
Bottom.
You can prune that if you like.
I'm just talking about, around the bottom.
Yeah, it's got a lot of flowers coming out, which probably doesn't need it at its age, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm wondering if it's actually got spurs growing at the bottom, which you don't want.
Well, they're lemon flowers that are on there.
No, at the bottom, spurs.
Well, cut them off. Easy fixed. 911, what's your emergency? I'm just calling on the guy to live next to the keeping his bacon fire going still. Send in another unit. I had bacon today.
Where's that? our VMAC going?
I don't know. She was there a moment ago. She's probably working, having a coffee, and just on occasions listening. But it's not that bad tonight with those blinds down. That's taken that wind chill away.
Yeah.
And it's still 14.7 degrees Celsius, which is all right. No, we'd never do that, VMAC. You're a working girl. You work hard. VMAC's real job is selling Vegemite to Canadians. That's what she does, ladies and gentlemen. I've unleashed the truth.
There you go.
I'll do that when I get to Canada. We'll take little sachets of Vegemite, make toast for people, say, go on, have a go. VMAC will look at it and go, what is that? What's that stuff on my toast?
And I got to take her.
I'll say it's vegetarian.
And I got to take her a
Vegemite's
Chiquito.
yum. Oh, you love Vegemite, yeah.
Well,
You-
I'm
yeah,
going
I
to send
just-
you a chocolate Chiquito bar. Give me your address, VMAC.
The best, for me, Vegemite, I love it. I like it thick,
Vegemite.
but I like cheese and Vegemite sandwich. That is just the bomb. I've tried Marmite, it's just can't.
No.
Even as a kid, I couldn't eat the stuff. I remember when I was only a little kid when we came to Australia, but at the school in the bush where we were, they used to, at lunchtime, big old caravan, and all the ladies cooked was toast. And you could have toast or you could have Vegemite on toast. And I gave it a go. I thought, geez, that's all right. And this is the price. It was half a cent for one slice, and it was cut into two. So you only had to take 1 cent. You get 2 pieces of toast and Vegemite.
So one slice cut in half or two slices?
No, so it was
of
four.
bread?
It was 4 halves, if you
Alright,
like.
Yeah, because.
So, but half a cent. No one ate half a cent, so you always bought 2. But there was just old ladies that rocked up, cooked it, just toast and Vegemite. And it was damn good.
So when the girls get their thingies, I didn't pack it very neat.
Did you weigh it?
I'm taking a guess. About
Or just
3.
use the scale. Just hop on the scale without it, then hop on the scale with it, and it'll tell you what the difference is.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 3.4, 5.
Well, keep it under 3.5, and we're good. You might have to take out one
No.
chocolate.
No.
You going?
No, I'll be back in a sec.
All right, okay. She's wandering off. Yeah, Vegemite and cheese. And there's a drink I like. I have it during the middle of winter. I haven't got any in the house at the moment, but I'll get some. It's called Bonox, B-O-N-O-X. It's like liquid Vegemite. And you just get a big spoonful and a hot cup of hot water. It's like a broth. You have to get going, work beckons. You have a good day. Have some water. Yes, bonox. Big heap. We can't really get a heap because it's liquidy. But into a hot cup of water, stir it around for about 30 seconds. It's like a beef broth. Warm the cockles of your soul. It's magnificent. You can use it in stews and casseroles and things like that, but I like to drink it like that. I'm a bush baby, and that's what we grew up on. Vegemite and toast and bonox on a cold night. No, 911. Yeah, we're sending another 3 units to Keeping's house. This bacon fire's got out of control. Yeah. Well, even in the middle of winter, we have bushfires. I know it sounds weird to some people, but we do. So like I say, the information I've received today through a secret agent, I can't name them because they'd no longer be a secret agent, is that the fat man in the can has received 2 strikes in 2 days. I don't even know what the strike system works on YouTube. I guess you get so many. You change the lights to LED, also the wash and dryer. Yes, that's where it works. Have you got solar on at all, Keeping? Have you got any solar at all? Or? See, we don't have to worry about central heat in Australia. So just aircon during the peak, probably February, March here, we'd have the aircons on because it's 110. But we're smart, we just go to a little room, even the old part of the house, the cottage, during the middle of summer when it's really hot, we'll probably go in there.
They've been doing a bit of renovation, Keeping.
A bit of alterations.
I've actually been stuck and haven't watched anyone's channel.
I will get make up a battery box, probably get an 80-watt panel when I do an outdoor area, so I've got good lighting for at night time. But I'll always put a dimmer on it. Sometimes you're outside at night, if you've got a fixed light, it's too bright. But if you've got, say, an LED waterproof strip, it's good.
Yeah, actually I was thinking we could have done with a light out there. It
What do
was
you mean?
very hard to see the dogs when I took them out the other night. Even though these lights were on, they were
I'll get one
pretty,
put on if you want one, but what do you mean
pretty
like,
dark.
well, it's only this time of year. Look, when you take the washing out at 8 o'clock during summer, the sun's still up.
No, I don't do any of that. It's just taking the dogs out.
Well, I'll put an LED light out there. I'll fix it to all, that gets sun all day, that wall.
Yeah.
So what I do, maybe even just a motion light, so leave it on, say, for 5 minutes when you go there and you stand in front of it.
No, 5 minutes isn't long enough. You're out there.
Well, I can set it longer.
Huh?
I can set it for whatever time you want. That can be arranged.
Just need something because that around that corner there's dark and that's where they always go. And I
Well, down there.
no.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll put a couple of, like, cabin lights, you know, the round one. ones that go onto the wall with the solar panel on top.
Yeah.
So I'll set them for 10 minutes, whatever, because all you got to do if it goes there is wave your hand in front of the damn thing anyway.
Yeah, sometimes they have a 30-second or
No,
40-second delay.
No, you can set them up. I mean, even if we've got 2 of these other ones, of these lights, in the shed like you say we have, I'll get a ladder and put them on that gutter.
I don't think that's enough light to shine in the back there.
Well,
I'll show you
I'll tell you
tomorrow
where I
when
will
I'm
put them
talking.
then, is, on the back of your washing line, there's a bar. They'll fit on there.
Yeah, I'll show you tomorrow what I'm talking about, because they basically just go straight down. They don't go out.
Okay, so you want it like a spotlight.
Yeah.
Well, let me hook up the battery system to the shed and I'll put the battery box in the shed and I'll put a spotlight on it. You can just with a little button thing that you can turn on and off.
Yeah,
That'll light up the whole back lawn.
Doesn't the shed get too hot?
No.
In summer?
No.
I thought it would. That shed used to get hot.
Well, as in the heat won't affect the battery box I built. I only need something like a bloody 100 amp, more than enough power. I just don't want a spotlight for being outside. I want something light that I can dim down.
Yeah, or...
It's just too bright otherwise.
Yeah. So, solar's perfect option.
Yes, we'll toodle off, I think, shortly. It's toodle off time. Starting to see a few more parrots now, aren't we? See you later, Tony. You have a good one, mate.
See you, Tony.
Alrighty, we're going to toodle off. We'll do the old princess goodbye. Whatever you're doing, hope you're going to bed. Enjoy your sleep. Have dreams.
I think most
Or
people...
dreams may come. There's a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, dreams may come. Yeah. Isn't it morning for most people?
Yeah, but for the guys just waking up in the Northern Hemisphere, have a good one. Put the sun cream on, turn the air conditioner on, and stay inside. Best advice you'll get all day. All right, hooroo.